Beautiful head movement. He knows how to get inside, great footwork, and deliver that power, and he's done it over and over again. Look at that, 22 or 44 KOs inside the first round. I won't be surprised if we see that here tonight.
Ray, you were an undisputed welterweight champion. Mike Tyson, an undisputed heavyweight champion. I mean, undisputed speaks for itself, my man. What is it like being at the top of the mountain?
Indescribable. Indescribable, but it's all about the purpose, the reason.
And we saw Tyson climb the mountain, but he ended up finding a cliff, a precipitous fall. But hey, he's going to try to be as sharp as he can. If he's as sharp as a cliff edge, he might do well tonight as we again anticipate the main event here. And we've got, of course, Roy Jones Jr. We would love to take a look at his resume, as well as, of course, he was the fighter of the 90s. And a guy that just, I mean, this guy moved his hands like a magician, becoming the first fighter to start a career at 154 and then claim a piece of the heavyweight crown, the first middleweight champion to do so in 100 years. And again, Olympic silver medalist. Ray, you were a gold medalist. Roy Jones Jr. should have been a gold medalist. The worst decision in Olympic boxing history.
I actually cried when that happened. That was just so wrong.
All right, and Snoop Dogg rejoins us, and Snoop, Roy Jones Jr. spits a few bars as well. He's a man after your own heart with the rapping, but what about the rapping he'll be doing in the ring tonight?
I mean, you got to look at his career. Roy was the man in the 90s, just like, you know, the music that I made was real effective in the 90s, so we kind of like coexisted at the same time. So to see that he still got the spirit and the will and the know-how, and to put his skills up against the great Mike Tyson, that says a lot, because Mike is Mike no matter what day it is or what night it is. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen.
All right, bringing the OG Funk along with Roy Jones Jr., Snoop Dogg in Israel. What about Roy Jones Jr.? We talked about throughout the night the way that you have patterned some of your unorthodox creative offense. What is it? What bedazzled you the most about Roy Jones Jr. in his heyday?
For me, it's his confidence. He was so sure of himself. Mike had that as well, and Mike talked about that when he walked in the ring. But Roy had this confidence, this aura of invincibility. Like he just knew, you can't rock with me. Like, I'm gonna go in there and impose my will on you, like hands behind the back with James Toney, what's up? And then he copied him, dropped him down. These are iconic moments in combat sports history and highlights that are gonna live on and on and on forever. He might create another one tonight.
All right, well, we have a contact high in the building thanks to Snoop. And Snoop, there hopes to be a lot of contact tonight.
Thanks to Weed Maps, man. I followed the navigation on Weed Maps, man.
And speaking of cannabis, of course, Mike Tyson has had a legendary career. Snoop, talk about the influence of Iron Mike and why you're such a fan.
Man, Iron Mike Tyson is the epitome of what it means to be great, to come from nothing and become something. He was our hero. You know, we looked up to Sugar Ray, Muhammad Ali, and then it was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was the new era of what they had laid down, you know, running with the baton, taking it to another level. So he represented the hood, he represented the turf that you could actually get up out of the hood and make it. So we really, you know, leaned on him and loved him for what he did, and we supported him through his good times, bad times, and his comeback. So we always been there for Mike Tyson.
What did you think when this fight was first announced, Snoop? Did you think that the endo was a little stronger than usual?
I was like, let me call Roy to make sure. You hear me? Are y'all sure? You sure?
And there, speaking of the devil himself, there's Roy Jones Jr. Again, just an incredible athlete. And Ray Leonard, of course, with some of the fastest hands in the sport. Roy Jones Jr. with dazzling hand speed, but it was just the creative offense, the unorthodox nature. And it's just incredible to see him making this walk now at the age of 51. He said it was a bucket list. He knows he's giving up the size, and he says, you know, you can...
fight, if you will, but it's not a fantasy. It's about to happen right now in front of us. And yeah, Roy, never count out an old dog. He's still got this tricks up his sleeve, and he's a guy that's a crafty veteran. I'm telling you, man, they say speed's elastic is one of the first things that go when you get older, but he's a guy that still retained a little bit of that. He's not the same, his eyes aren't the same like you said, but he's still got that pop in his punches and that delivery system that's super fast.
2020 continues to bring the improbable. Let's go to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Two legends in one ring. Coming to the ring first, the 6-time world champion, Roy Jones.
Right, because the guy you're sparring with kind of like you. He's your friend. He can't hit you too hard because you may not pay him. But that guy across the ring right now.
Oh, come on. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe we can book you and Snoop for WrestleMania, maybe.
Wrestle?
Wrestle? Come on. A little wrestling?
You wrestle?
We got a little wrestling.
We go tag team. Me and Sugar Ray go tag team.
Yeah.
I have the first 4 minutes.
I'll take over.
Do you still stay in the gym, Ray? Are you still in the gym?
I see
doing
her on
some
Instagram.
boxing?
Ray's still getting it,
Oh,
man.
yeah. Oh,
He's still
yeah.
getting it.
That's what keeps me going, man.
Right. Keep you sharp.
Keep me sharp, exactly.
Stay focused.
I love the feeling right now they will both be feeling is relief, a sense of relief, like, yeah, we did that.
Right.
You know that feeling right after a fight, whether win or lose, you just have the sense of like, yes, we did that. And man, like I said, hats off to these two gentlemen, because that was epic. Even though it wasn't of old, for me just to see this nostalgic and be here with all y'all.
Hats off to you, brother. Is this your first time doing fight commentary?
Yeah, oh man, I'm a virgin at this.
Amen.
Not anymore.
Amen. Very
That's
good
what
job.
she said.
Oh, what a night. This is going down in the annals, my man. 34 years doing this. I don't know if I'll ever have another night like this.
No, that's a classic, man. It's a classic.
Yeah, it is.
Instant, man.
Shout out to the people that put this together, man. All of the great minds, the people behind the scenes. They don't ever get no credit, so we want to give them a shout out right now.
And what about the marriage of hip-hop and boxing? I mean, real deal Holyfield,
We've
Mr.
been together.
Snoop.
We've been married. You know what I'm saying? It just so happens that it's just finally being able to be, broadcast and highly touted and being able to, bring both worlds together. Because we've always been complimentary. Every time a fight happens, we usually perform and we usually at the fight watching the fight.
Absolutely, yes.
All
That's
right.
what it's about.
Thank you, Snoop. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Morrow, thank you very much. Well, the scorecard.
Thank you so much, Jim. Big thanks again to Mike and Roy for a great night, and thank you to the WBC for providing the scorecard for the Tyson Jones exhibition. The production is going to be making a donation to the WBC Jose Sulaman Boxers Fund, supporting boxing's retired heroes who have fallen into hard times. On behalf of the entire crew of Triller Presents Tyson vs. Jones, thank you so much, everyone at home watching, and of course, thanks to all the fighters and performers tonight. Be safe, enjoy the rest of this holiday weekend. Good night, and God bless.